state lawmaker here in Iowa. He spent some time there in Ukraine during his stint in the Air Force.
And he still has friends back there and is now worried about their safety. Yeah. We want to go live to political director Dave Price with more. Dave.
Dan and Janae, he spent some time out there and has been in contact with those who are still in that region. So, Senator, let's bring you in here. What have you been thinking as this has all happened?
Yeah, this is a scary thing to wake up to, not just for Iowans, but for our friends in Ukraine. We have 3 sister city relationships. Iowa's got a sister state partnership here. The real impact is that we have a bloodlust autocrat coming out of Moscow, going in who doesn't care about his own troops and certainly doesn't care about the 41 million people who live and reside in Ukraine today.
So those you're in contact with, what is going on with them? We're seeing video today where I watched a video of a dad saying goodbye to his kids. His family was evacuating. He was going to try to stay and fight as a civilian fighting these Russian troops coming in here. What's going on the ground?
Yeah, I've heard a couple of very heart-wrenching stories. Our friend who actually helped us monitor free and fair elections in Ukraine back in 2019 woke up to shelling of the apartment complex next to her. The entire building collapsed. Several individuals injured. It looked like there were several dead. The airport right next to them came under intense shelling from Russian aircraft. I will say this, the Ukrainians have a hard spirit about them. They went out there, immediately manned the AAA guns, and brought down 2 Russian fighters at the same time. So already intense fighting going on. The other aspect we've seen is there are some Russians who have reportedly don't even realize they're in the Ukraine fighting. And so one Russian soldier was reported to have said, "This is my grandmother's village," and laid down his arms and turned himself over to the Ukrainians. Several platoons have actually been turned back at the border. So I think we're seeing a Ukraine that has very iron resolve to push back on Russia's push into central Kiev.
Some of these very, very early national polls you see, it looks like there are a lot of Americans who have reservations about what kind of involvement, if any, we should have over there, right? So what should our involvement be?
Yeah, I'm absolutely, as a military officer myself, I completely oppose any boots on the ground here. Now we can be sharing intelligence. I'm even at the point where we should be looking at doing surgical strikes with cruise missiles on areas where Russians have invaded Ukraine. But here's the reality for Iowans. We now see barrel of oil and gas going up to $100. We're basically, in the United States itself, just this past year has seen barrels of gas go up 140%. Now, $500 million of those are coming directly from Russia. This administration needs to put the brakes on funding a war that Putin is using our American tax dollars to go and invade sovereign countries. We've got a real opportunity here to say no by standing up with our European allies and saying, let's turn the gas off for Russia.
But what is the president? He announced some sanctions today. There are some more he could do. He's not personally coming after Putin, it doesn't look at this point. What more can be done other than going in and fighting?
Right. So here's the thing. Putin cares about no one else. He doesn't care about his troops, he doesn't care about the Ukrainians, and he certainly doesn't care about the West. Sanctions aside, very few of which are going to have a direct impact to him, we have to stop spending money on Russian petrofuels. And that's the Europeans, and it's certainly the United States. That's the best way to turn him off. If he doesn't have the money to run this war or resupply, we stop them in their tracks.
But our gas prices go up if you turn that spigot off, right?
You know what, if we were to open back up the XL pipeline right now, we'd be able to produce 800,000 barrels of gasoline a day. America used to be energy independent. We have become Russian dependent because of this Green New Deal plan. That aside, we need to be able to stand up to Russia. That's the right thing to do. Americans should see lower gas prices at the pump by opening up our strategic reserves that we already have.
All right, Senator, appreciate it.
I appreciate it, thank you.
State Senator Zach Nunn spent time in the Air Force, has been in Ukraine several times, and then in communication last night and today with people still in that region, Janae and Dan.